Hi guys, I'm back again. Wait a minute. Dang, it won't let me go. Let me see if it'll let me do it this time. My internet's tripping. Come on, internet. Stop acting like this. Hi guys, I'm back again. I don't know exactly what's going on with my internet today, but it is not being friendly to me. It's okay though. I'm still gonna say what I got to say. Yeah, it's just I had to come on here and say something because I noticed that, you got a lot of people out there who think it's important for them to state their truth and their facts. And let's just say their truth because what they're stating is not facts. They're just stating some garbage that they don't heard somebody else say. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't be led by just anybody. You can't just tell me anything and expect me to jump off a cliff and follow you. No, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who follow these so-called like these people who say that we all community and all this and all that, join this community or that community. If your community is promoting violence, foolishness, or any type of racist prejudice motive, if your community is promoting anything that's not right, I ain't got nothing for you or your community. And that's just how I am. The reason I'm like that is because, first of all, you're not finna catch me in the junk, the drama, or the BS. I'm just not going for it. I don't look at people. I don't care. I could care less about where a person come from. The only thing I care about is what kind of person are you? Are you a good person or are you a bad person? If you are a bad person, I have no room in my life for you because I don't deal with bad people. I don't care who you are. I don't deal with bad people. So you can say what you want to say. You can do what you want to do. Just don't step, okay? That's all I got to say. Don't step. You can talk all the junk, the drama, the garbage you want to talk, but be prepared for me to come back in kind. Because whatever you say, I got an answer for you. Whether you like my answer or not, that is completely up to you. If you speak to me as if you're an intelligent being, an intelligent person, I'll speak to you like you are an intelligent person. But if you speak to me like you ain't got no sense, I'm gonna talk to you like you ain't got no sense. That's just how I am. I don't believe in playing games with people. I bars none. I don't care who you are. I don't. I'm not intimidated by anybody, man, woman, or child. We all bleed red. That's just how I feel. And so when somebody get on here and they get to talking all of this junk drama and this foolishness, first of all, I'm not the one. I'm not like some of these little folks on her scared to talk back, scared to say something. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, I've been around the block. I know what to do, how to defend myself, how to take up for myself. I know how to use the law to the best of my ability. Just like people know how to dox, I know how to find out where somebody is and find out what the laws are in their state. And I also know how to file a petition against that person to persecute them if they've done something they ain't got no business doing. So don't play me. I'm not the one. I will never be the one. I will never be that fool allowing somebody to try to treat me any kind of way. Like I said, I don't care if you come to my page and if you have something nasty to say. Why? Why would I care? Long as you say it in a mature manner, in an adult manner, I don't care what you say. YouTube is for us to communicate with each other, communicate through our videos, communicate through our lives. That's what YouTube is all about. It's not for us to be on here acting dumb and crazy towards each other, though. That is not what YouTube is all about. These people who these people who take it too far, they're taking it too far because they're undisciplined, because they don't have any control over themselves. Some people are so unhappy with their lives, they use YouTube as another form of communication with people. Some people are so ineptly prepared to communicate with people, they don't know how to deal with people when it get thick, when it get hot, when people say stuff that they don't like. And so my thing is this, you know, it's not my problem. I look at it like this. If you've gotten yourself in trouble, you've been to jail, you messed your life up, and you can't do nothing else but come on YouTube and try to scam and shim people, don't get mad at me if I have other options. Don't turn your rage on me, get mad at me, and try to act a fool with me because you messed your life up. First of all, I didn't have nothing to do with that. If you are not happy with your life, my suggestion is that you make the changes necessary to make a better life for yourself. Don't take out your frustration on me. Because here's the deal. Like whatever you give to me, I'm going to give it back to you. If you talk to me like you got common sense, I'm going to talk to you like you got common sense. If you talk to me like you an idiot, I'm either going to ignore you because you don't even register in my radar, or I'm going to talk to you like the idiot that you are. That's simple, plain and simple. For somebody to tell me to prove that I have ties back to slavery, first of all, you're a big fool. You're a big fool. You're a huge fool. That's all I can say. For any white person, non-white, anybody who is not black to make that kind of statement, you want me to first prove that I have ties back to slavery before I can even have a conversation. Please get your life. Get your life, please. How dumb can you be? How dumb can you be? The average person in the United States never goes any further than about 100 to 200 miles from their home. That's black or white or whatever. The average person. Most people have no desire to travel beyond what they're accustomed to within a 200-mile radius. Those are statistics. And if that is not accurate, I'm not off by very much. The average person. Then you have those people who like to travel, such as myself, who have been outside of the United States and who have traveled, who have driven to 29 of the 50 states. You have those people who are a little bit adventurous, such as myself, who like to travel, who like to see what God has created. My family has been pretty much in the same city for a very, very, very long time. A very, very, very long time. And then they can trace back to where they were before they moved to that particular city. So for somebody, uh JB, like I said, you are entitled to your views, you're entitled to your opinion. Sweetheart, I'm not mad at you. I consider you to be a shyster. I grew up around people like you. I grew up around black and white people with very diverse thinking, people who do bad things and people who do good things. To me, you're a con artist. That's just my personal opinion. Do I have facts? No, I don't know you. So I can't say factually that you're a con artist, but based on the way that you move, your movements are shisty. You waited until the very end of their life to drop that little old nugget of knowledge that came from your dome. You drop that little old, oh, hi, Jules, XO, with your I can't spell self, with your I can't spell, and I can't put together a good sentence. Sweetheart, come to my live and talk smack to me. I got it for you all day. I'm not scared of you. First of all, you need to learn how to read and write. You talk about work, I doubt you have a job, honey. Because if you can't read and write, I doubt you have a job. What is your job? Laying on your back for JB? Is that your job? Because, honey, let me tell you, you don't come to my live and try to be nasty. Because if you come to my live trying to be nasty, I'll break your face with words. I'll break your face with words. First of all, I have a degree. What do you have? Secondly, I've held 2 and 3 jobs at the same time. Thank you very much. Have owned 2 nice new vehicles, lived in nice homes. What have you done? So when you sit and you talk about people trying to be a victim, you might be a victim. Your lifestyle might be a victim. Your whole existence might be a victim. And please, honey, learn how to spell the word victim. Victim is not spelled Victem. It is spelled Victim. If you can't spell Go to grammarly.com, download the application to your phone or to your laptop, and use it when you're trying to communicate with people so you don't look like a big idiot. Okay? That's my little bitty suggestion for you, okay? Because guess what? Anybody like you who come to somebody's page, you can't spell, you don't know how to string together thought-provoking sentences, you don't know how to structure your sentences, you're wasting that person's time, okay? You might be used to uneducated, foolish people, but you don't have that in me. Okay, so before you come to my page, before you leave your little comments, you might want to get your stuff together. Okay, get your act together first and then come back and let's do it another time when you have your facts and your act together. Okay, and I don't necessarily need y'all in my life. I could give a rat's patootie. Unlike, I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that, honey. I highly doubt you could put that information out there if that's what make you feel good. You own a 4-bedroom home and I have a business. I have money in the bank, so stop with your girl, please. Girl, if you don't quit, if you don't stop lying to yourself, quit lying. Don't lie. If how in the name of Cooter Brown, how in the name of Cooter Brown do you have a 4-bedroom house and you got your own business, but you can't even spell the word victim? Please, come on. Let's see. E is on the other side of the keyboard from I. You can't confuse them or mix them up when you're typing. So you mean to tell me that you accidentally misspelled victim? It's not possible, sweetheart. It's not possible. So before you come over here trying to be funny, before you come over here trying to throw your lies out there, girl, you probably live in a trailer park. You probably got 20 kids and 20 babies' daddies. Don't come over here with that, okay? And yes, honey, this is my natural hair. And I'm not ashamed or afraid to show my natural hair. I'm not. This is what God gave me. I'm not like some of these people. I don't have to have long blonde hair, which I will wear a long blonde wig if I feel like it. I don't have to have long blonde hair. I will wear my natural hair. And if it's nappy, it's nappy. If it's not, it's not. I don't care. But like I was saying, um, sweetheart, before you come to somebody's page, and you try to shame them or try to make them look bad or you try to talk ugly to them, please get your life together, okay? Because you can't spell, your information is whack just like you are. And that man, JB, who you sucking on his sack, honey, I don't have to have nobody to propel me to wickedness or to propel me to do anything. No, I don't. And as far as you saying, I want to get attention, sweetheart, I get attention every day when people read my books. What do you get? Huh? What do you get? What do you got? Nothing. So please stop. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself because you're making yourself look real dumb. Because when people see this, they're going to look at you. First of all, I went over to your page and you are a troll. You a whole troll. You got 15 subs. You have no content on your page. You got everybody else's content on your page. You ain't made a video. You ain't done nothing but sit on your butt and try to come to somebody's page like my page and try to talk smack to me. I have over 170 some odd videos, probably 180 videos that I created myself. Whether you like them or not, who gives a crap? I created them. Can you create a video? I highly doubt it. I really doubt it. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, you are. You are a sack sucker. Because if you had any sense, any common sense at all, you wouldn't come to my page talking smack about some stuff that you know nothing about. You are presenting your opinion as fact and you don't have your facts together. You said 98%. And yes, JB, I am ignoring you for a reason because I want to target this troll that came to my comment section and left a dumb comment. I can't stand dumb people. If you're going to come and talk to me like you got some common sense. Okay? Talk to me like somebody taught you something. Even stupid racist people, their parents teach them something. Just because they're racist doesn't mean that they don't know anything. It just means that what they've been taught, some of it doesn't make sense to me. But I can respect a racist thoughts. If that's what you believe and that's what you think, that's your business. As long as you come with some common sense. But you, Jules XO, you are a whole troll. Not only are you a troll, you can't spell, you don't have any thought process, and you have no facts. So now that I've said my piece to you, you are dismissed. You are dismissed. So you can continue to make your comments, and I can continue to ignore you because you don't mean nothing to me. I mean, this is YouTube. This ain't, this is not, it's not like we're going to win $1 million because we on YouTube. This is YouTube. You're a YouTube gangster. You're not going to come to Arkansas and keep that mess up and keep that energy in Arkansas. Because if you step on this property out here that's posted, you won't be in existence anymore. And the law will back me up for that. So don't do it. You can say whatever you want to say on this YouTube. That's a YouTube gangster. Y'all hard as nails on YouTube, but in real life, you fake, you phony, and you have nothing going for you. That's pitiful and cowardly. Did you not realize that that's pitiful and cowardly? Come on, get a grip on life. I don't have any hatred towards law enforcement. My son is a correctional officer for the state. I have no hatred towards law enforcement. I've never said anything ugly about law enforcement. I have a problem when people step outside their job description. Law enforcement's job is to protect and serve, and that was for Gloria Lucas. I have no problem with law enforcement. I actually speak to police officers all the time, and I joke with them. No, the liberal hater, you're not bothering me. Look, let me tell you something. I don't have a problem with law enforcement because I know that if we didn't have law enforcement, this country would be, well, we wouldn't be a country. We would be a army state is basically what we would be because there would be complete and total chaos. I believe in law enforcement 100%. I believe in law enforcement so much. I went to school so that I could learn the law so I could better understand the laws, why people in law enforcement do what they do, and what they expect from citizens such as myself. Now, as I stated, as I stated before, Gloria Lucas, my son is a correctional officer. He handles some of the nastiest people because he works for the state. I highly respect what he does, and I highly respect what his fellow officers do. My son has decided that he may go into the police academy. I highly respect that as well. My youngest son is actually going in, he's already sworn in. My youngest son just graduated. He's getting ready to go into the army on July the 1st. I have a great deal of love for this country. I have a great deal of love for the law, and I have a great deal of love and respect for anyone. I don't care if you black, white, it doesn't make me any difference. But I will not stand for lies. I don't care who it is. Now, I don't personally, and I stated this on my video. I stated on my video that I do not believe that this country will ever give reparations to black people. That's what I stated on the first video that I did. Now, I thought it was mighty shady. I thought it was mighty shady that JB waited to the last 10 minutes to drop that little nugget of knowledge. I thought that was shady. Wait a minute. You said, Bernard Maiden, you said you have love for law enforcement. Yeah, you say you are scared they will kill your children. Sweetheart, can you honestly, Bernard Maiden, can you honestly say that there haven't been black people getting killed for no reason by police officers? In 2018, an NBA player who wasn't doing anything wrong, he had a traffic violation. His car was not moving. He was parked in the wrong parking space in Wisconsin. And instead of them issuing him a ticket, they ended up tasing him and throwing him down to the ground, tasing him, and placing him under arrest. And if it wasn't for the officer's body cam, if it wasn't for the officer's body cam, nobody would have ever known what happened. And it was only because he was an NBA star that they were able to get to the truth. Well, um, Unfazed Jules, that's not how he presented. I was in Coach Eli's live the other day. That's not how he presented it. He just dropped a little question to Coach Eli, little old nugget, asking what did he think about reparations. Should what and I'm gonna tell you something. I don't I First of all, I'm not looking for nothing. I don't believe that anybody's gonna give me anything. Nobody's ever given me anything. I started working when I was 11. So I really don't care about that. Some people are charged and they feel like that's an important issue, but I'm not gonna sit here and belittle their thought process. I'm not going to belittle their thought process because the science backs up what has gone on in this country. In this country, black people, and I'm going to say the race of African American people who were brought over here in systemic slavery, those people were basically, they started out 10 steps behind the white people who came over here and decided that they were going to take up the land that already belonged to the Native Americans. So the country was built by black people. It was built by the hard work, the sweat and tears of black people, and also sharecroppers, some white sharecroppers, many of them from Ireland, who were paid next to nothing as well. That's what history teaches us. Now, I chose to include the Irish because I believe in telling the truth. There were some other cultures that came and helped build the country, but they were not slaves. They were sharecroppers. They came to work for somebody else. They made next to nothing, and their lives were very harsh as well. But they were not slaves. They were not systemically abused, beaten, killed, maimed. They were not treated as animals. So if you go into science, you go into history, and you use facts, you'll realize that as a result of slavery, there was it was a weakening of the fiber of the black community of those people of that time, which anytime you do something systemically and it happens over any more than 10, 20, 30 years, it's going to have a profound effect into the future. We can argue those points. Scientists have already proven it. Nobody's sitting on this live right now has done any. I can tell you haven't done any research, because if you've done any research, you would actually present the truth along with your own personal opinion. That's what learned people do. They say, well, even though the facts presented say this, I don't agree with that. That's what learned people do. There are some facts that I've seen that I don't necessarily agree with. I'm one of those type of people. I can tell my truth and I can tell the facts, and I'm not messed up about it. And Angie Live, you said most people who had slaves, only 4% could afford them. Took care. Honey, I'm sorry. It's not written properly, so it's giving me a hard time first thing this morning. Look, let me tell you something. I'm not a slave. I've never been a slave. I've never been a slave in my mind, and I've never been a slave in my body. I've always worked for myself, and I've always taken care of myself. My stepfather taught me a sense of value, to value myself and not to allow myself to be held back by anybody else's misconceptions. But I'm not going to sit here and allow somebody to speak an untruth. I don't care who you are. And if I call you a shyster, it's because I feel like you have shysty ways. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Did I say that you, JB, did I say that you are a shyster? I said, I feel like you are a shyster. That's the difference between presenting a fact and that's the difference between presenting your own opinion. I presented my own opinion. I don't present my opinion as if they are facts because my opinion may be wrong for somebody else. But I'm presenting my opinion based on the way I see you move and the way I see you do things. And that's just how I am. When you go on your channel, you can present your opinion. You can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And guess what? People either deal with it or they don't. That was something else I said on my first live about this situation. When you go to somebody's live, that's just like going to their house. When I go, if I come to your house, I am at your rules, at your discretion, and I have to do what you ask me to do. Angie, that statement, do you beat your car? That's ridiculous. If you beat and mistreat your car won't take you where you need to go. You act like people were not beaten and tortured as slaves. Come on, girlfriend, don't do that, please. That's what I'm talking about. When you say stupid, idiotic things, that pisses me off because it has been proven, it has been written down, and it has been documented that slaves were beaten, not just beaten, but mangled and maimed. So please don't do that. Don't be ignorant. I hate it when people do ignorant stuff because you choosing to be ignorant and make ignorant statements, and it makes you look stupid when you do that. Enough got beaten. It was enough of an atrocity that it was recorded for posterity. Back to JB, just like I was saying, I don't I what you do in your house, that's your business. If I come to your live, if I come to your page and I listen to what you have to say, if I listen to what you have to say on your page in your live, I can't come over there acting a fool with you because that's your house. I'm the one who's wrong if I come to your page, to your channel, and I want to challenge you and act stupid with you. I see people doing that all the time, and that is just dumb. That's dumb. Why would you challenge somebody on their playing field? That makes absolutely no sense. But if you come to my page and you come to my house, you're going to follow my rules. And if you don't follow my rules, I will put you out or I will ignore you like I'm ignoring some people. It's not that I'm ignoring some people because I just want to ignore you. I'm ignoring some people because if you make stupid statements that are not founded in fact, if you make stupid statements that are not founded in fact, I'll choose to ignore you because I'm not going to sit up here. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to cuss at you and act ghetto. So you can say, see there was another black person acting ghetto. I don't do that. I don't do that. No, it's not that I don't have a rebuttal deplorable Arab. And I'm not surprised to see you here because I saw you at Coach Eli's as well. I see y'all run as a pair. And that that pack mentality, okay, science has something to say about that. Y'all run as a pair. Y'all running in behind y'all leader. So if your leader run off a cliff, y'all gonna run with it. So if your leader run off a cliff, deplorable Arab too, are you gonna run with him? Because that's foolishness. Angie Live, that's true. But I'm gonna tell you something. Nobody in their right mind wants to be beaten, whipped. First of all, you've been ripped away from your land, stolen from your land, stolen, kidnapped from your land, and taken to a whole new land. You didn't sign up for it. You didn't ask to go. You were just taken. Some people were sold. But if you do your history, deplorable Arab, not everybody was sold. Some people were kidnapped. Some people were kidnapped from their own land. That's true. That's true. That's just like when back when the Saxons had wars, they would have wars and they would capture slaves and they would sell each other too. It happened across the board. And it happened across the board. The only difference is, like I said, there were some people that were actually kidnapped from Africa and brought over here in chains as slaves. These people didn't sign up to come over here. They didn't ask to come to this country. They were brought here by force. When somebody is brought to do something by force, they have every right. If it, I'm gonna tell you like this: if for some reason this world comes to a horrible end, and a lot of these people who believe in slaves and foolishness like that come to me trying to kidnap me, I got something for you. You can't. You're not gonna just grab me. Those people, if they were better trained and able to deal with their aggressor, I'm pretty sure they would have fought them too, because they weren't asked to come here. They were brought here by force. Well, if your people have over a million slaves in this time and this day, is that really something to brag about? That actually shows how backwards you are. That is absolutely ridiculous. Why in the world? First of all, first of all, are we not currently in a divisive position with the Arab nation right now, or at least one of the leaders of the Arab nation right now, because of their behavior? I mean, slavery is not exactly something that I would be tooting my horn about and say, oh, well, we still have slaves now. That shows how backwards your people are. If your people still have slaves, they're backwards. Why are you relying on somebody else to do your work? Why would you not do your work yourself from your own brain, the sweat of your own brow, the way God told you to? Why not do that? I don't play slave card or race card. I don't really care about a slave or race card. Honestly, Jules XO, sweetheart, you counsel, honey, because you're ignorant. I don't have time to talk to you. You're counsel. Yeah, she is stating a fact, Bernard. But honestly, that's not something I wouldn't, me as a person, and I'm not a humanitarian, but I care about people. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would be fighting against that. Why would you have slaves in 2019, soon to be 2020, when we know that the whole construct of slavery is so denigrating? It breaks down the mental and physical aspect of a human being. So that's okay. It's your people they enslaving, so do something. And that's real funny because you do know that that is bigger than me. You do know that that's bigger than me to deal with the whole system of slavery. That's bigger than me. Why don't your people do something about it? They always want somebody to help them. Yes, the Irish were treated bad. The liberal hater. When the Irish first came to this company, they were treated just as bad as black people. They were treated just as bad as black people. The only difference was they were not slaves. They were not slaves. They were treated very horribly, but they were not slaves. That's the key. Look, I don't really care what other people think about slavery. You can think what you want to think about slavery. What I do care about and what I do know about is the fact that if you are a Christian, the Bible says that you're not supposed to maltreat people, even slaves. The Bible even talks about slaves. It even talks about slaves. It tells you to treat them well, even in the Bible. The biggest problem with slavery is that people weren't treated well. We can argue that fact all day long, but it's the truth. They weren't treated well. They weren't treated well. And that's the reason why it has been historically proven that they were actually being treated, especially by today's standards, inhumanely. That's where the whole argument comes from. Well, the liberal hater, I can agree with you. I'm not a Democrat. I don't believe in everything that they say or do. I honestly think that they're very foolish because they haven't learned anything from 2016. Well, Bernard, we're not even going to get into the whole religious aspects. Everybody has a choice to make when it comes to religion. Some people choose not to believe in anything. Some people choose to believe in Satan. Some people choose to believe in Muhammad. Some people choose to believe in Christ. That's my own personal belief and choice. I don't question nobody else's choice. I listen to their views, and I tell them I can appreciate and understand that's where they come from, and I leave it at that. I'm not fixing to challenge nobody where it comes to their religion. That's their choice. It's all about choice. It's all about choice. Actually, I actually follow a lot of what's going on with the government. I spend most of my time watching what's going on with the government because, unlike some people, I would like to know exactly what's going on at any given time. I don't want to be caught unprepared. So, deplorable Arab 2, the statement you made was not factual. You, ma'am, or sir, or whatever, you don't know me. If you knew me, you would understand that I am very much, I would say, a nerd because I read a lot and because I spend a lot of time looking at the facts of what's going on in this country. They didn't learn anything from 2016 because if they learned anything from 2016, they would learn to get out and actually really connect with the people and try to figure out what people want and what people need and quit trying to sit up there in the White House and make rules and laws that they feel are important because everybody doesn't feel the same way that the politicians feel. They don't get out and talk to even, I look at it like this, even the people who back Trump, they have something to say. And if folks will get out and talk to them and listen to them and find out, most of them, they don't agree with his racist, but at the same time, they agree with the fact that he's creating jobs. So they're torn. They're torn between, do I care that he's behaving in a racist manner, or am I concerned about whether I can pay my bills or not? That's the biggest issue with a lot of people. They have to choose between whether they want to follow him. They have to choose between whether they want to follow the president or whether they want a chance not having a job. I'm not gonna get into that argument, deplorable Arab too, because if he wasn't a racist, he wouldn't say and do some of the things he does. Some of the things Trump does is to save face and to make himself look better because he's already made himself look much worse. He is I thought George W. Bush was an ignorant president. George W. Bush looked like a Rhodes Scholar compared to President Trump. I'm sorry. I'm just stating what I've seen based on the things that he has said out of his mouth. So we can argue a lot of things, but you can't sit here and say that President Trump have not made some real stupid comments and done some stupid things. Well, Well, I don't know if that's proven or not with the 1,500 and 800 with deplorable records. I mean, with criminal records. I don't know if that's true or not. How do you personally know that's true? How deplorable Arab? How do you personally know that's true? My question is this: why is it that you would say lock somebody up? Your name is deplorable Arab. So my question is, Are you of Arabic um lineage? And if you are, that means that your people are not originally from the US either. So why is it that it's okay for an Arab to come to the United States, where a lot of the same people who don't want Mexicans here also don't want Muslims here either? Why is it okay for you to be here, but it's not okay for the Mexicans to be here when they were actually transmigrating between the United States? No, wait a minute. We're gonna go into this. Let's dig. Let's dig a little deeper. Because if you think about it, the Mexicans have more claim to the US than any of us. Because California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, I know that Arab doesn't mean Muslim, but you know, JB, please don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. How many people who in this country, who hear the word Arab and they automatically associate it with the Nation of Islam, being a Muslim? Come on. I'm speaking truth. Look at what happened. I have friends, people that I worked with when I worked in healthcare. I have friends who were being targeted because they were either from India or they were from an Arab nation. And those people hadn't done anything wrong. But because Indian, Arab, some people connect that with being a Muslim. Some of the people that I work with, they were Hindus. They didn't have nothing to do with being a Muslim. And they still were being treated badly. I said Nation of Islam, I said Muslim. They're even though they're different groups, they have the same parentage as far as their ideology. The only thing that I was stating, like I said, before y'all start trying to attack, open your ears and listen to what a person have to say before you start trying to attack. Like I said, when the whole 9/11 thing went down, I saw that as the towers were falling. And there were people who had nothing to do with that period, who were being targeted as Muslims. And these people, they came to work every day. They were nice. They were kind. They treated everybody well. Pretty much everybody I've ever worked with from foreign countries are very polite. They're more polite than we are because they're not in their home country. But some of these people were actually targeted as Muslims, and some of them weren't even Muslims. Well, just because you're afraid doesn't give you a license to be stupid. That's okay. All right. Well, then white people were afraid when they were lynching black people. Is that okay? Deplorable Arab. I just said when white people were afraid of black people, they lynched and burned them. Was that okay? That's the thing, Black Wall Street. What I was just saying, I actually said, what is the difference between someone from an Arab nation coming to this country? What's the difference between someone from an Arab nation coming to this country, becoming a citizen, living the dream, the American dream? What's the difference between that person from an Arab nation that is what, about 7,000 miles away, 6,000 miles away? What's the difference between them and someone in Mexico coming to this country? Because actually, if you look at the migration of the Native Americans, because Native America was not just North America, it was Native America all the way down through South America. Those people transmigrated in between different places. That's that's scientifically proven. So they actually have more right to this land than we do because their brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, grandpas, and grandmas died here. So what's the difference? Who decided it was legal or illegal? That's the thing. Y'all not getting it. And that's okay. You don't have to get it because it just shows something about you. See, we like to fight and we like to argue, but we don't want to think. We don't want to think. Those people have a greater claim to this land than even we do. They have a greater claim to this land than even we do. That's why the Mexican American War was fought. Now, what you do is you make friends with the people who are closest to you. Everybody want to sit here and talk bad about Mexicans, but Mexicans do the job that a lot of people, often a lot of people will not do and refuse to do. Well, okay, let's talk about following laws. There are people that come from your country, there are people that come from Iran, Iraq. I've worked with people at Walmart. I was a customer service supervisor at Walmart. I've worked with people at Walmart that I actually worked with one guy that couldn't even go back to his country because he started talking to a Christian and they were threatening to kill him. So he had to stay here in the United States. He had to stay here in the United States. Whether he stayed here legally or illegally, he couldn't go back to his country. Well, I'm not going to disagree about anybody being illegal needing to leave. I feel like they need to go through the process and then I feel like they need to go through it the right way. That much I will say because I believe in following the law. But I don't feel like anybody should be treated as if they're a subhuman just because the president says, "Oh, we're full, we can't take anymore. We don't need any more brown people." Okay, so my question is if all the Mexican people who are here illegally leave, who's going to fill those jobs? Because y'all do know, I mean, take Dallas, Texas, for instance. There are a lot of restaurants in Dallas, Texas that will probably close down because nobody wants to work for them. So who's going to take those jobs? Who's going to serve you your burger? Who's going to cook your food? No, they won't. That is a lie because you got people walking around here, black and white, who will say every day, and I've heard it myself. I can't work for no fast food restaurant because they don't pay enough. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I'm gonna tell you something. That's the reason why I say you don't know me because if you knew me, I'm harder on young black men than I am on anybody. Anybody who tells me that they would rather not work at a job because it doesn't pay enough, they need to be slapped in their mouth. You can't accomplish anything with zero money. So you need to work somewhere. A little money is better than no money. But I've heard people who have worked under me, my crew members, who tell me, well, the reason I didn't really want to work at this place because y'all don't pay enough. Okay, so if you're not working, you don't get paid anything. So you mean to tell me you rather sit at home and not make nothing than to come to work and make a little money? And when I got tired of dealing with them, I had to turn around and get me some Mexicans to work for me. Now, of course, I had to verify their paperwork and go through that e-verify system because the company I work for wasn't going for it. Well, I feel like we should protect our borders. I'm not stupid. I feel like we should protect our borders because something like Ebola, something like even measles, mumps, rubella. I mean, even with the recent scares up in New York and places like that, in New Jersey, where people were not getting vaccinated, that these people don't realize that all of those diseases were put down for a reason. We don't want those diseases in our country. The reason we are one of the strongest nations is because we have good health care, because we have stronger people, and the reason we have stronger people is because we have better health care and we have better food. When you have a good source of food and a good source of health care, you can make a strong source of people, a strong stature of people. I don't know what you're talking about when you said a totally racist statement. Like I said, Jewel, you need to make clear and concise statements so I can follow you, huh? I didn't say blacks were above Mexicans. I just said that pisses me off when I hear a person say, I can't work for no fast food restaurant because they don't make enough money. I never said blacks were above Mexicans. You not following what I said. I said it pisses me off. I also said when I worked as a manager in fast food and someone made that statement and they wouldn't bring their butt to work, I would have to hire a couple of Mexicans to take their position because I couldn't get the jackasses to come to work. If I can't get you to come to work, and you come in, you beg me, telling me, well, I'll come to work every day. If you just give me a chance, if you just give me a chance, I'll prove it to you. And then I hire you, and you either calling in because there's something wrong, you come in late, the days that I need you to unload my truck, you got some excuse why you can't work. And I'm back there unloading the truck. I'm 4'11". I'm a woman, but I can go out there and help unload a truck. But you a man and you can't do it. So how is that racist when I say that if I have to hire a couple of Mexicans because I know they'll come to work? I didn't say my people are lazy, but I said that's the experience that I've had. Well, I don't know about all that, JB, about black women's behinds. I don't know about all that. I think that has to do with how people are raised. Because the way I was raised, you cover it up. I see girls, I don't even, I tell my daughters, don't dress like that around me. You don't walk around here with your butt hanging out. If people see everything that you have to offer, they're going to automatically think something about you. They're going to think that you a hoe. They're not going to assign any value to you at all. You said, why don't I complain about people saying that black women have the nicest asses? Why I don't complain. It that is a generalization and it is a stereotype, but that's not my battle to fight. The way I fight that battle is to teach my children right, to tell my daughters don't be out there putting it out, flaunting it, to tell any girls that are around me that you are respected when you dress appropriately. But if you put everything you got that God gave you out there for everybody to see, why would a man want to respect you? Just because I don't come on here and say something about it, well, actually, that's a lie because when I'm talking on my live, I talk about it all. I talk about it all. And sometimes black people get mad at me because I say things. And I don't care if I'm speaking the truth. Why would I care if somebody get mad at me? Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I said, JB, you have to speak specific. I'm not one of those people that does a bunch of generalizing. I don't generalize because I don't believe that everybody can be fit into one mold. I believe that we are individuals. We all have our own way of doing things. So I don't put people in all in one box. No, Jade, Jaden, whoever you are, I haven't contradicted myself. I believe that just like I told JB, I believe he a shyster. Just like I told him, I believe he's a shyster. I told him I believe he's a shyster based on the way I see him moving. That's what I said about him. I don't know any of you other people who I've never seen before, with the exception of um, the Arab lady. Did the chicks hatch?
Yes.
Oh yes, I gotta record that. Anyway, I didn't say anything about some people.
Oh my
The
gosh.
definition, I've actually read the definition of a shyster. A shyster is somebody who cons people.
One of them hatched. Just one. Yeah. That is so cool.
Well, point out my contradiction. Just point it out. Point out my contra. Don't tell me I'm contradicting myself. Point out an exact instance of me contradicting myself. Point that out. Because it's easy to say that somebody's contradicting themselves. I believe in order and rule of law as well, but I don't believe in generalizing people. I don't believe, just like when JB was talking to some little old nasty, trifling little gutter girl that I looked at her videos, a little old nasty black girl. Um, I felt like he was right what he was saying about her because she was really foul. But he made a couple of statements about black women in general, and I didn't agree with that because not all black women are the same. Not every black woman does the same thing. Like I just said, Angie, live. Point out a very specific instance. How can you tell somebody that they've done something, but you can't point out a very specific instance of what they've done? See, that's the thing. You can say what you want to say. You'll find out, even my children will tell you, you're not going to accuse me of something and then not give me an instance of when I did it and expect me to accept it. I'm not that weak, honey. I'm not that weak. I've never been that weak. If you want to point out a very specific instance of when I was generalizing people, then we'll discuss it. But you can't just tell me that I'm generalizing people and then expect me to gobble it up. Okay, when did I do it? You just said it. What did I just say? You said, JJ, you said comparing what you said yesterday to today. You have deflected and generalized on race, politics also. You also reduce yourself to attacking people's appearance and have made assumptions. Like I said, you said comparing what you said yesterday to today. What exactly are you comparing from yesterday and today? If you go into a courtroom with that type of statement right there, but you can't provide no specific sentences, no specific statements, and then you can't cross-examine what somebody said, you are on a fool's course. Like I said, it's just like I said, if you can't give me a very specific thing that I said, and you can't turn it around and cross reference it with something else, because see, I know how to actually go through a video. If you have a laptop, let me tell you how you can do this so we can make this simple, okay? Because I like to make things simple for people. If you want to pull up another tab on your laptop, pull up a video that I did yesterday, run that video, pull it up, put it down to the minutes and the seconds, because I've done that before, and then let's expound on it, okay? And then you take whatever I said today and you cross reference the two. That's how you provide a very specific statement of what I said, and then we could discuss it. Yes, I do teach my sons to fear the police because there are some police officers who don't have respect for the position they hold. And it's not a contradiction in statement, Jaden, because just like I just said, and if you would listen, like my dad tells me, you have two ears and one mouth. If you would listen twice as much as you speak, or you're quick to defend yourself, then you would learn something. Just like I said, I have a son that works for the state prison. He is a corrections officer. I have a great deal of respect for what he does. I also have a respect for the police officers here in my city and the police officers in the city that I just moved from. I have a respect for them doing their jobs when they're out there protecting and serve. What I don't respect is when a police officer, like up in Wisconsin, an NBA player goes into a Walgreens. When he comes out, there's a police officer standing by his car. The police officer says, "Do you see anything wrong with this picture?" The NBA player says, "I don't know what you're talking about." The NBA player was actually parked in the wrong parking spot. He was parked in a handicapped parking spot. Instead of the police officer writing the man a ticket, What he did was call for backup. The video camera recorded the black man and the white police officer standing there talking to each other. The black NBA player was doing nothing but talking to him. He wasn't being rude. He wasn't being ugly. He wasn't being defensive. He wasn't doing anything. He was doing what the man asked him to do. The police officer called for backup. When the car showed up, instead of one car showing up, three cars showed up. He looked at them and you could hear him saying, "Oh, I only wanted one car." When he went to the car, he told him, he said, "I only wanted one car." There were about six men surrounding that basketball player. If he had not been a basketball player, he could have been in the same position as Trey, as so many other people who have been knocked down, shot, and killed. But because he was a basketball player, his association spoke up against that police department in Michigan. Because he was a basketball player, nothing happened to him. Okay, JB, do you have those facts? Do you have those facts? Because you can make a statement, but can you run the facts behind it? Do you have a fact? Do you have a source? Do you have a source that people can actually go to themselves, look it up, and find the facts supporting what you stated? Now, going back to the guy that was trying to the Jade Jaden, you said you teach your sons to fear the police, for example. Today you laud and esteem law enforcement contradicted statements. Look, he look, he may have asked Sterling Brown for his ID, but did his department get sanctioned because they did the wrong thing? Now, if we're gonna talk about something, let's talk about the whole thing. Bernard Maton, talk about the whole thing because you said you are not being honest. The police officer asked Sterling Brown for his ID and he refused. A lot of people refuse the police officers their ID because they don't know what they're doing. The guy kept asking him, the police officer kept asking him, "Do you see something wrong?" Apparently, he didn't see anything wrong, but he wasn't being combative. He was just standing there. Did you look at the body cam? Did you watch the whole video? Did you look at the fact that even the police department apologized for what they did? And did you look at the fact that the police department said that they were in the wrong? So if the police department said that they were in the wrong, how could you come around and say that they weren't? Or basically, you're saying that I'm wrong, even though I'm stating the same thing that I saw. Can you put that in for me? Well, I'm not going to disagree with you, Angela. I'm not. Because there are some women out there who are teaching their kids the wrong things. I completely agree with that. There are some things that I will agree with you about. Well, JB, one thing about it, if you post a fact and I go check the fact and I see where you are right, I'm quick to say that you were right. I do teach my children to respect the police, but I also teach them to fear the police. Just like I teach my children to respect and fear me. Because my boys don't rise up against me. They don't act like they're going to put their fist in my face. But I've seen other parents whose kids have actually hit them because they didn't teach them anything. Well, JB, I will check that out because one thing I am gonna do, I'm not gonna just represent one side. You will hear me always representing the truth. Now, what I know is the truth, I'm gonna represent it. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, I don't care. I'm not just gonna sit here and act like all black people are good and all white people are bad. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And if you knew who I am as a person, you would know I don't believe that. My family is comprised of a mixture of everything. So I certainly don't believe that. I just don't. Well, my children's father have been in their life, so I know you can't raise a kid without their father. I've actually mentored other younger women who were separated, divorced, or just in a relationship with a guy and explained to them, especially for boys, a boy needs a man around so they can learn how to be a man. A woman can teach a kid some things, but there are some things that a woman can't teach a boy as far as being a man. Now, I got that from my upbringing in the Christian church that I grew up in. That's the reason why I'm not going to argue with nobody about Christianity, because I know that what I learned some things that some people don't understand. Well, I agree with that, Angie. I can imagine that it's probably painful for some children to see other kids with their parents, and then they just have the one parent, and sometimes the one parent doesn't have enough time for them. It's like I said, I'm not gonna sit here. Is it generalizing to say that Mexicans are hard workers? It is. That is a generalization, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a generalization. It's a generalization because some Mexicans aren't hard workers. That is a generalization. The people that I've worked with have been very hard workers. I've talked to other people who have said that they worked with some Mexican people and they were very lazy. Well, you know, when I made the statement that I hired a couple of Mexicans and they were hard workers, I don't think that's generalizing. When I made the statement that I hired a couple of Mexicans and they were hard workers, that wasn't a generalization. They were actually hard workers. They actually came to work every day. I didn't have to worry about them coming to work. So I don't see how that's a generalization if that's something that I actually lived through. Angie, I agree with you. Well, if I stated that, then that was my bad. But the people that I hired, they were hard workers. Not only were they hard workers, they came to work every day. Now, as I stated, I've heard that there are some Mexicans that don't work hard. But the Mexicans that I work with were hard workers. So I'm speaking based on my experience, not based on a generalization. Well, let's just do this. If I made that statement, my bad. Move on to the next thing, cuz we're not going to pick this apart. We're not going to sit here and pick this apart. First of all, like I said, y'all not going to pick me apart. I you said, well, I don't know if that's a fact. JB, I can't say that's a fact. You mean to tell me you have done statistical research and that's the information that you've come up with? You've done statistical research, because the information that I've come up with from statistical research is that 60% of the United States is obese. Not black, not white, but the United States. And if you want to dig deep into numbers, there's only 32 million black people in the United States. It's like I said, is that a statistical fact that you have found out? Because, just like I just said, in the United States, over 60% of the people in the United States, that's out of 300 and what, 50 million people, are considered obese. That's kids, that's men, and that's women, children, men. That's everybody. So you mean to tell me that out of that 60% of people that's obese, you've narrowed it down that black women specifically, are on average 189.7 pounds. So what difference does that make? What point are you trying to make with that? Honestly, what's the point you're trying to make with that? How does that affect their ability to work, their ability to pay bills, their ability to raise children, their ability to contribute to society? But I never said anything to you about you stating about black women being fat. I even made a joke in the little short video I just did. I am fat. I said if you call me a bald headed fat black woman, I'm gonna laugh because you just lied. I am fat, but I'm not bald headed. And I laughed at myself. I could care less if you say something about black people being fat because a lot of people are fat. No, I didn't call you racist for critiquing black women. I called you I called you on one video because you were making generalizations about black women when it came to them wanting to be with white men and some other disparaging things. That's what I was talking about. Because you were talking about you were with a black girl and you were with a white girl, and which do you think was better at this and that? Oh, I didn't even care about that because that's your business. If that's what you thought when you was with them, that's your business. But you were making statements about black women. I didn't say anything about fat. I could care less if you even like black women. That's your business. That's your personal opinion. You are entitled to like what you like. But when you try to lump everybody into one group and say all black, if you make statements like this, all black women are loud, all black women are aggressive, all black women are lazy, something like that, I'm gonna have something to say about that because that's a damn lie. Because I know for a fact, even when I wanted to go off the rails, I had to stop and think about what would that do for my job? What would that do for my children if I lost my job because I'm losing my temper? You said, show me the video where I said, oh, I said, you know what video I'm talking about because you were talking about some black chick that was a swirler. And you were saying that she was, you were talking about a black chick that was a swirler. And you were saying that didn't nobody want her because she was nasty and all this other stuff. I forgot what her name was. I think it might have been something swirl. And you were like really just going in on her video. Then you showed a picture of yourself with a black chick on one side, a thick black chick on one side, and a white girl on the other side. And then you were asking like, who do you think was better at this and who do you think was better at that? You were just going on and on and on. And then you were making some other disparaging statements. I commented on the disparaging statements that I heard you say. Anything that you said after that, I don't know, and I don't give a rat's patootie because just like I said on my first video, and I said on this video, I haven't been back to your channel since. Why would I go to your house? Why would I go to your house when I know that the things you say at your house might be offensive to me? Well, player one, um, I'm not gonna address what you just said because, like I said, when somebody sit and make a disparaging statement about black women in general, I had something to say about it. I came to my channel, which is my house, and I made comments about the video that I saw. Just like I made comments on Tasha K, who is a black woman. Yeah, and you know exactly what I'm talking about then. So quit pretending like you don't know what I'm talking about. Don't play me. Just like I said. And you can call me a B because just like I said earlier, sometimes I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I am a bitch. You can call me a bitch. It ain't gonna hurt me. Long as you don't put your hands on me, you'll be fine. You say what you want to say. Now, if you want to take it beyond YouTube and bring that same energy to Arkansas, you'll come in running, but you won't leave out. Just keep that in mind. You can say what you want to say. I don't care. You can call me everything but a child of God. I would not care. Because you can say anything behind the screen, behind a YouTube screen. That's why I call y'all YouTube gangsters. Because you talk all this noise behind a YouTube screen, but in real life, what you gonna do? You gonna come down here to Arkansas and put me in my place? Sweetheart, I don't have to know you. You come down here to Arkansas, you won't be in existence any longer. We don't play with people in the state of Texas or the state of Arkansas. We don't play with people like that. You don't threaten somebody in Arkansas or Texas and then come there expecting the fight to be equal, because it's not going to be equal. We don't play like that. All I'm saying is you can say whatever you want to say on this internet. I could care less. I don't care what you say. When you come to somebody's house and you call them a bitch, most people would go off on you. I'm not even going to go off on you. I could block you now if I wanted to and not listen to another word you had to say. I didn't call you a B. I made a statement about you based on my own opinion. Did I call you a B? Did I call you a hoe? Did I call you a fool? Did I call you an idiot? Did I call No, wait a minute. Did I call you a jackass? Did I call you anything? I could have called you a motherfucker. I didn't call you nothing. I didn't call you out your name. I called you a shyster. That's all I called you. I did call you a thug because based on what I've seen, you are a thug. And you just verified that because you just told me don't challenge somebody you don't know. You ain't no thug. You ain't never been to jail. You ain't never been to jail, JB. You ain't never been to jail. You ain't never lived that thug life. Ain't that what you said? Because I distinctly remember you saying so on Coach Eli's channel that you did live that thug life once upon a time. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't you say you were in Chicago or somewhere like that? See, so for me to call you a thug, is that a lie or is that the truth? Because you're the one who said that you were a thug. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just going based on what you said. You made out like you was the man, like you were OG, triple OG. You the one said it. So now you gonna get mad because I repeated what you said? Come on, JB. You never went to Coach Eli's live and said that you lived that life. Come on now, don't play. Your cool points just went out the door. I could think you were cool just because you say you a thug. Whether you really are a thug or not, I don't know. I could think it was cool that you think you a thug. But you sitting here saying that you ain't never said that. Oh Lord, I'm not finna go down this path with you. You oh my God. You did not go on Coach Eli's live and sit there and talk about all the women that you have in your house and the fact that you a thug and you've lived a thug life and da 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 da. You didn't say all that. What is that? Months and lies ago, and now you don't remember? Is that what it is? Is that months and lies ago? I didn't say having a lot of women makes you a thug. I'm telling you what you said on that particular live because I didn't even know you existed. I didn't even know your channel existed. I actually checked out your channel after I saw that live. That's the only reason I even knew you were in existence. I wanted to see what you was about. You told me then people call you a racist because of things you have to say. And I said, well, okay, sometimes people call you racist. Sometimes you speak the truth and they'll call you a racist. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a racist if you say a certain thing about people and it's the truth. Just because you white and you say it doesn't make you a racist if it's true. And that was the conversation we had. I promptly went over to your page. I promptly looked at some of your videos. I promptly saw that you are very controversial in the things that you say, and I didn't pay it no mind. See, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't forget stuff. So you can sit on here today and you're not a thug. You ain't never lived a thug life. You've never been to jail. You've never done this. You never done that. You ain't that guy. You don't know them people. You ain't never been about that life. Okay, whatever. That's you. Whatever. It's funny to me when people go on live on camera and make statements, and then months down the line they forget the statements they made. Come on now. That's not authentic or genuine. How would I even know that you've been to jail unless I heard you say it out your mouth? How would I even know that? I'm not one of these people who go by what other people say about folks. Y'all were beefing at that time. I was surprised when the last video that he did that y'all had come to some kind of agreement. Matter of fact, you were supposed to have come to some kind of agreement at that time. Y'all was supposed to bury the hatchet and go about your business. Y'all promptly went back to going in on each other. No, I'm not saying just because you went to jail that you were a thug. I'm saying based on the things that you said out of your mouth. So I'm not going to argue with you. As I stated, this is my home. I'm not going to argue with you in my home. I'm not going to argue with you in your home, on your channel, and I'm not going to argue with you here. I have no reason out of all the people, out of all the people that I talk to on YouTube, I have no reason to single you out, JB. You're not even my cup of tea. It's just some of the things that you say. I come on my live, and I've only done a few lives that even mention your name. I come on my live and I speak about it because I don't agree with it. If I don't agree with something, that's not necessarily an attack on you. If I call you out for saying something that is silly to me, I'm not necessarily attacking you, but what I am saying is what you said was wrong, whether you like it or not. I can make my own opinion. I'm not telling people go over there to his live, go over there to his channel and thumbs down and strike his videos. I'm not saying that. I've never said that, and I would never say that because people work too hard on here to be sending folks to do stupid stuff like that. Only cowards do stuff like that. But what I have said is I was over at Coach Eli's live. And when I was at Coach Eli's live, I thought it was real shiesty and shady. It seemed like it was planned that at the last 10 minutes, they going to drop that little old question in. That was me. I said, I think. That was me making a statement based on what I think. You know what? Because I am the person that I am, I'm going to find that video and I am going to comment on it. I am going to find that video. Because I remember around the time that particular video was made. I remember around the time. I'll find that video. Like I said, I do research, so that ain't no big deal for me. But and I'm not gonna do it right now because that means I have to go over to Coach Eli's page and go through all of his videos to see if I can find that one specific video to point out what you said. No, and honestly, I'm honestly, I wasn't I don't, my schedule is not based on everybody else's schedule. I don't even do lives. I don't even do lives as often as other people do lives. Matter of fact, I was actually getting some information from Coach Eli when he was talking about being consistent and going on live and people knowing when you can go on live and being on time because I don't do lives. I do lives very sporadically and I do them every once in a while because I'm mostly researching and writing and putting together books, reviewing other people's books. I don't have time to do lives like some people do. But in order for me to make my channel more effective, I'll go to someone else's stream to learn tips about what I can do. So when you're saying you're promoting something dealing with reparations,
Yes.
I didn't know that you were promoting something dealing with reparations. That's not what the title of his live said. I went to his channel based on what the title of his live said. And because I'm not on his channel all the time, and I stated that, he clearly stated at the very beginning when he called out Indie Creative Arts Media TV, he said, I haven't seen you in a while. That's because I don't just go and be on his live all the time. Well, I understand that now, but I didn't understand that then. I said, like I said, I think. And that was the reason why I said, I think. Player one, you are dismissed, honey. You can't call me a liar. You don't know me. You can sit on here. Well, JB, it's my home, my channel. I can speak about something that I question. It doesn't necessarily mean that I that's a fact. When I say I think, that's exactly what it is. I think. No, I haven't been lying. You can say I'm lying because I'm not following your ideology and I'm not doing what you want me to do. But just because I don't follow you and do what you want me to do, that doesn't make me a liar. So you can say what you want to say. You're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion is not necessarily a fact. And if you don't understand that, then you need to fix yourself. You need to fix yourself because you're not always right. I mean, nobody is. You're not always right. And just like I said, you can come here and argue with me every day, and you still not necessarily gonna get what you want arguing with me, because an argument don't mean nothing to me, not at all. Okay, this was a very interesting live. I'm not even gonna lie. All of y'all are very interesting people. Don't you come over here.
I'm not.
This was a very, very interesting live. Well, that's a lie because black people aren't treated equally. Black people are not always treated equally. And you can say that black people are treated equally, but until you are black and walk a mile in a black person's shoes, how can you make that kind of statement? How can that be a factual statement when you're not even black? So you've never been on that side of the line. You've never lived as a black man. So how can you make that statement? You're okay. You say, okay, if you say that black people are treated equally, and then you say that's my opinion, that's one thing. But you didn't say black people are treated equally, that's my opinion. You said black people are treated equally, like you just said. You just said, aren't you the same broad that called me a liar for saying blacks are treated equally? You didn't say it was my opinion that blacks are treated equally. You said blacks are treated equally. Well, if you stated now that it's your opinion, you didn't state it then it was your opinion. It's just like I said, I don't care what you say, honey. If I hear you say something and I want to speak on it on my channel, can you even stop me from speaking on it? Yeah, JB, believe that, honey. Believe that my IQ is in the 80s. Sweetheart, I bet you my IQ is way above yours. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't try to manipulate people to agree with me, because the reality is, I don't care whether you agree with me or not. I don't care. As I stated before, you are not my cup of tea. You are not my cup of tea. Not only are you not my cup of tea, not only are you not my cup of tea, you coming on here and me speaking to you, that's just a comment. That's just a courtesy. Because, in all honesty, if I wanted to just be ugly and nasty, I could say all kinds of ugly, nasty things about you and never once speak to you. Ever. Never acknowledge you, never allow you to speak on my platform. I could do that. But see, I'm not that type of person. But you're not going to sit here and call me a liar, and you're not going to sit here and try to make me out to be whatever just because I'm not following your line of thought. Well, Gloria Lucas, I did answer him. I said what I had to say, and I'm not going to change what I have to say. I don't care about being on your radar. What you going to do? Sweetheart, don't do nothing foolish. Don't do nothing foolish that'll cause you or your little friends to get themselves in any trouble with YouTube. Because you do know that they have policies. As far as I'm concerned, you can do whatever you want to do. Don't be doing all of that doxing stuff that y'all be doing with Eli. Don't do it with me. Because I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I am not the one. You can say whatever you want to say. Yes, you can react to videos. You can react to videos as long as you don't dox me. I don't care about you reacting to no video. I don't care. I could care less about you reacting to a video. Um, Bernard Maiden, I agree with your statement, but I also believe that you have to teach people to be cautious. Because sometimes when a person is not taught to be cautious, they make foolish decisions. And if a person make foolish decisions and they're not alive, then you can't be anything you want to be. So I don't see why anybody would have a problem. Hey Jeff, thanks baby. I'm glad to see a friendly face in my own life. I mean, there have been some nice people in here. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie like that. There have been some people who've asked questions, but back to Bernard Maiden, it's a real threat for some young black men who get pulled over, who get stopped, and end up dead, and they haven't done anything wrong. Now, we talked about what happened up in Wisconsin. If you can sit and say that all of these cases of black men getting shot down and these black boys getting shot down and there's nothing wrong with that, I don't even know what to say to you because there's something wrong with that. There is something inherently wrong with all of these people getting killed and many of them not doing anything wrong and it being caught on tape. You've already made that point, JB, and I said I would check that fact out. I would. I would check that out to see if that's a fact. I would check it out to see if it's a fact. But I've never heard anybody saying anything about it. You don't hear that fact ever reaching the surface other than when you just said it. Yes, I did teach my kids to be careful of police officers because you don't know which police officers are good and you don't know which ones are bad. You can it's I mean it's just like me. I can be just as nice to one police officer and they be just as nice to me and then the very next police officer could sit there and just talk cash to me. I mean just be nasty to me and he doesn't even know me. If he spoke to his fellow friend, he would know that I'm very respectful. I do what I'm asked to do, but not all police officers do that. So it's good to teach kids, especially young black men, to be cautious. In other words, just like you see some of these videos of people telling young black men, young black people, period, if you get stopped by a police officer, put your hands up on the dash and don't move. Just don't move. I teach my kids to respect authority. Well, if there weren't so many people dead, I mean, what about the police officer that went into the black guy's house in Dallas? She actually was on the wrong floor and she went into the man's house and shot him in his house. So, what do you have to say about that? Bernard Mayton. What do you have to say about that? This man was sitting in his house, minding his business, and she walked in his house. They were on different floors. There may have been more to that story, but still, how can you walk in somebody else's house and shoot them dead in the house? Yeah, but that still doesn't justify her walking, because that was the excuse that she put forward. She put forward the excuse that she thought she was at her door and she was startled to see him in her apartment. That was the excuse that she put forward. This is Dallas, Texas. I watched that case. That wasn't just that how is that a tragic accident? You a whole floor down from your own apartment. Okay, you said you're not trying to justify that. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying, I get what you're saying. I don't look, I don't teach my kids that police officers are bad and all police officers are out to get you, but I do teach them how to survive in case you come across one that is not good. Because the reality is there are a lot of really great police officers out there, but there are a few bad apples in the bunch. Actually, I'm not deleting JB's messages. My moderator is deleting his messages. And I'm not telling him no. I've had enough. I'm done with JB for today. And you know what? I'm sorry, but you say I look at it like this. It's easy for one person to say that the number of people getting killed by cops is just like it's not as many people as we would think. But one life is a life. If that life was taken and it was done in the wrong manner, then it needs to be something done about it. That's the point. That's the point. Jeff, baby, you don't have to explain anything to me. You see, I didn't say anything. I saw when you deleted his message or timed him out. I I listened to JB. I let him speak. Just like I said, this is my house. And if anybody doesn't like what I have to say, they are more than welcome to leave. I am not gonna sit here and just let you cuss me out and talk to me any kind of way. Now that my mod is here, I'll let him handle it. Well, um, just blazing Detroit, honey. I don't even know what to tell you. You know, one thing I can say is this: I noticed that with most people, until something happens to them or their family members, they don't believe it. They don't believe it. And this is something that I stated in a previous live. You cannot force someone to believe what you believe. The only thing you can do is present what you think, present the facts, and move on. Either they're going to believe it or they're not going to believe it. And if a person don't believe it, that's between them and God, whether you believe in God or not. And that's all I got to say. I can't force anybody that came over here today. I can't force I can't force anybody to believe what I believe. Now, what I do is come to my channel. I speak my opinion on my channel. I don't even go to other people's channel and try to argue with them on their channel, because I feel like that's their house. They're entitled to say what they want to say. Either I can come join in the conversation, enjoy the conversation, or I can stay away from it. That's my choice. Well, Just Blaze Detroit. I don't, and that's the thing. I don't think anybody should be fighting anybody. I really don't think anybody should be fighting anybody. But I feel like people need to stop acting like the one guy said earlier that all black people are treated equal. I don't believe that. I have my right to believe the way I believe, based on how I grew up, based on the things I've seen, based the way I've seen people treated. There have been too many people down here in the state of Texas. Honestly, I haven't seen the riots in Memphis. I would have to look at what was going on and look at the facts on both sides before I can even make a statement, period. That's one thing I'm not going to do. If I haven't looked at it with my own eyes and gathered the facts, I'm not going to speak on it, because I don't know what happened and I don't know what caused it. Until I know what caused it, I'm going to decline to speak. Well, see, I just moved from Texas to Arkansas. I've spent nearly 20 years in Texas. So when I speak of Texas, I speak of Texas the way I speak, because that's where I've lived. I've just been in Arkansas for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So, like I was saying, in the state of Texas, a mentally retarded man was drugged behind a truck by three people for no reason whatsoever. Those kind of things happen. Because that happens, that's the reason why some people don't feel safe. Okay. That's the reason why some people don't feel safe in the South, because those things happen. Well, player one, um, if I ignore your comments, don't take it to heart. If I see you say that I'm a liar, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to call you out on it, because if you don't know me, how can you call me a liar? You said my title is about your show. Okay, yeah. And I say that because I hear a lot of people saying that same thing. I hear a lot of white people saying, well, I don't think they should get reparations. I think that they should just forget about it. That's what I hear a lot of white people saying. And when I heard that statement, I came to my channel to say something about it. I came to my channel to talk to the people that I talk to about it. Because even though I don't feel like we will ever see reparations, I ain't never thought about that, because I don't feel like it'll ever happen. I don't feel like it's in anybody else's power to try to tell somebody else to forget about it. Until you walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, you can't tell that person how to live in their shoes. That's all I'm saying. And if anybody have a problem with that, that would be like me. Well, I don't know about that, not Brett. Player one, that would be like me. Like, say for instance, if you have been abused, mistreated, or if you've gone through something extreme in your life, and then somebody told you to get over it. You know what I'm saying? You would look at them like they done lost their mind. A lot of people think that blacks are equal, everything is fine, you don't have to deal with anything, whatever. That's what a lot of people think. And that's their opinion. They have every right to think that way. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that it's true. It doesn't make it true because it's your opinion. Because if you've gone through something, how can I tell you how to feel about what you've gone through when I didn't go through it with you or I didn't go through the exact same thing? Even if we both went through the exact same thing, you might feel one way about it. I might feel a completely different way about it. I'm looking at the most recent comments and I'm reading back the most recent comments. Well, just Blaze Detroit, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't believe it'll ever happen. I don't worry about stuff like that because the reality is that for us to, that's like a pie in the sky type situation. We want what we want, but that doesn't mean we're going to get it. That's just like the Native Americans. The Native Americans were made all kinds of promises. Most people don't understand that reparations was actually a promise that was made to black people to freed slaves, but it never happened. See, that's the thing. That's what most people are not getting. It was a promise made by the government, it never happened. And that's the reason why so many people are fighting for it because the government said they were going to do it, but they didn't do it. Well, the government also said that they were going to, even the government said that they were going to they were going to pay back the Native Americans for their broken deals, the broken treaties, and all the other stuff. Um, like I said, like I said, the government told the Native Americans that they were going to give them certain things in treaties. They broke those treaties over and over and over again. They lied to the Native Americans, and they still haven't made up for the things that they've done. They still haven't made up for the things that they've done. I'm pretty sure even the Native Americans know to a certain degree that the government will never honor their word because it's run by a bunch of human beings who lie all the time. No, I ain't nobody. You know what? To nobody said that um since our ancestors were slaves that other people should go to jail or be punished for that. You know what? Just Blaze Detroit. That's just like I was saying earlier. When people believe something, you can't change what they believe. A person can believe all of this junk and garbage that they want to believe until they die and day. One of the things I know for a fact, when I was working in healthcare, there were people who told me that they didn't believe in God. They didn't believe in Jesus. They didn't believe in this or that. But guess what? As they were laying on their deathbed dying, guess who they were begging and crying and calling on and asking for forgiveness for and from? Those same people who swore up and down that they were atheists. They were calling on the name of Jesus. They were asking God to help them. So I know that people can say and do whatever they want to do because God give us the choice to say and do whatever we want to do. But when it all comes down to it, the Bible say that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So I'm going to end this live on that note. I appreciate y'all for coming over. Guess what? Y'all gave me watch time hours. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just like everybody else. I'm on here doing my thing. If you come over here, you want to argue it out, let's argue it out. And yes, that's what I was just Blaze Detroit. I was speaking about that. Some of the trauma and the things that were suffered during slavery after so many decades, after so many generations, there are some things that actually come through in your DNA. There are some things that come through. But you know, you can't explain that to somebody If a person doesn't take the time to go and do the research themselves, they will never know. That's just like somebody sitting in the church and the pastor says, God said if you're going to give, you got to give it, and you got to give it without a question. That person is saying amen, amen, amen. They never once took time to go to Malachi and read where it talks about tithing and it talks about giving. They're just going to take the word of someone else. And when you take the word of somebody else, a person can tell you anything, whether it's true or not. Whether it's true or not, a person can tell you anything. The difference between me and some people is that you're not going to be able to easily bully me. You can say what you want to say. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to accept it or agree with it. You can say what you want to say. And another thing, just so y'all know, see, some people don't understand how computers work, and some people don't understand that every time you access the internet, you use an IP address, your every time you go into somebody's live, you leave an electronic file of the interactions that you have with that person. So when these people are going into people's lives and they're going onto their channels, thumbing down their videos and doing all kinds of stuff with their videos, the internet is tracking your every movement. So if you think you can't be traced in doing maliciousness, let me encourage you that even in the YouTube Creator Studio, they spoke about the fact that if they find out that's what you're doing, they will terminate your channel. So I'm telling you this, I'm giving you a heads up because you can go on anything that I have and you can make a comment, you can do whatever you want to do. But if I feel like you're being intentionally malicious, I will report every single person that I have never seen on my channel before. And I will let YouTube do the investigating because I do believe in the law. I read every single policy and I read the rules. So you are more than welcome to come over here, express your opinion, do whatever you want to. Just don't do no foolishness because the foolishness will get you caught up with me. I'm not everybody else. I don't know y'all. Y'all don't know me. So, like I said, you're more than welcome to come over here. You can say whatever you want to say. But if you go on my channel, and my channel has good marks. If you go on my channel and start messing around with my channel, you don't realize that that's messing around with somebody's livelihood. You can be taken to court for that. You can be taken to court for that. Now, I'm not saying that because it's not true. If you go to the Creator Studio and you go to the videos that they create for creators and you read and you listen to those videos that come from YouTube themselves, that's what they have said. Those are called facts. Okay? Those are called facts. So I highly suggest that you guys follow the community policy. Don't harass people. Don't do silly things that could get you caught up. Because I'm the one to do it. I got all day. I have nothing but time. I draw up legal documents all the time. I have no problem submitting a legal document with every name in this live to YouTube so that they can go and research your activity. Because guess what? Every time you log into your account, your activity is recorded. And if you think it's not, try me. So, like I was saying earlier, thank you so much for stopping by. I certainly appreciate you. I really do. This is Dee with Indie Creative Arts Media TV, and this is my Black Conspiracy TV entertainment news. And I say entertainment news because that's what it's for, entertainment. Hi, King Taco. I'm sorry, dear. I'm about to head out. I have some baby chicks that just hatched, so I got to record them. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. You have a wonderful and blessed day. See you later, guys. Bye.